Good evening, Comet fans. I'm Wendy Bartle, and this is Fans in the Stands. My guest tonight is Rachel Alexander, also known as 5-Minute Major on the blogs. How are you doing this evening, Rachel?
Good, thanks. How are you?
All right. Are you enjoying the game so far?
Yeah, so far so good. I like the new jerseys. I'm kind of wondering how nobody noticed Huckalo's name was spelled wrong, but I do like the new jerseys.
Yeah, he's Hawaiian tonight.
Yes, he is. Hulico.
And how long have you been a fan?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm actually a third-generation Comet fan. I couldn't tell you when I first started coming to the games. It was probably just a little kid in the 80s.
Right.
My grandfather was friends with the guy that used to play the organ here, Jack Lose, and he gave Grandpa tickets all the time. And so my dad, my grandpa, and my uncle used to come to the games. They've been coming almost since the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
And then Dad started bringing my mom when they were dating, and they were big on the 1973 championship team.
That was quite a win, yes.
Yeah, that was a little before my time. But
yeah, a little before mine too, but I remember it because when I was going in the 70s as a child with my parents, they were in a gold, championship drought at that time.
Yeah, it had been a while, then hadn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't until '93 when they actually won another championship, so it was just a long period of time. But I remember winning the Huber Trophy in '78, and that was about the best we could do.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't here for the '93 championship, but I remember listening to it on the radio, and my dad was upstairs listening to it, and he was pounding on the floor, and everybody's like, what's going on up there?
Yeah, he must have been a really big fan.
He was. Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away earlier this year, but
I'm sorry.
Thank you. He's the one that got me started, and I have a 15-month-old niece that I'm going to be bringing to the game sooner or later.
So you're working on a fourth generation.
Yes, working on generation number 4.
Do you have any special memories or stories at games that you went to with your dad?
Well, 2 seasons ago in the championships, Game 7 against Port Huron, after the first overtime, Dad stood up, put his coat on, and acted like he was ready to leave. And I said, what are you doing? Where are you going? He says, well, don't you want to leave? You have to go to work tomorrow.
Right.
I said, no, I will sit here till Thursday if I have to. He's like, okay, we'll stay. I'm like, well, yeah, we're staying. He says, well, we can't stay till Thursday. I have your mother's car. So it's a good thing it got over when it did.
That's true. That's one thing I really like about playoff hockey, and that theoretically, the games could go on all night.
Yeah, none of those stupid shootouts. I hate shootouts.
Yeah, I know a lot of hockey purists hate the shootout, and I guess it has its advantages because sometimes you have to wrap up the game, and and that gets it over with. Now, there was that really long shootout last winter, but
yeah. And I just watched the Blackhawks game earlier this week, and it went 11 rounds in the shootout. So that was nerve-wracking.
Yeah. All right, and also you have a friend in Australia,
yes,
as I understand it, who is also a big Komets fan.
He is. I have sent him tapes of the Game of the Week broadcast, so Tim and Randy would be happy to know they make someone on the other side of the world happy with their broadcast.
That is about as far away as you can get.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they actually do have hockey in Australia.
Yeah, I didn't know that until just recently. It doesn't seem like a place that they play hockey, but they do.
Right. Well, they don't have a lot of ice and snow in Australia.
No. He says he's never seen snow.
Right. Most of the country, other than in the mountains, you really don't see it. But the mentality seems to be there. The personality, the Aussie personality seems, like it would really fit with hockey. And, so I did look some of this up, and I found it really interesting because they have one of the oldest ice hockey associations in the world in Australia. And they also have, it originated, first of all, in 1904. That's when they first had a skating rink, as I understand it, in Adelaide, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Right, and then in 1906, they had their first international game where they had soldiers from the USS Baltimore come in and play in Melbourne.
I didn't hear about that. That's cool.
Right. Now, their Ice Hockey Association got started in 1908, and they had their first interstate play in 1909. So this year, actually, they just wrapped up their centennial season.
Yeah, and then they play during our summer, which just strikes me as so odd, but of course the seasons are backwards there. So.
Exactly. And also, I noticed that they have a semi-pro league now. They have other leagues that play, but they have a semi-pro league that plays since 2000, the Australian Ice Hockey League. And they, there is a Sydney Ice Dog, so I don't know if your friend is a fan.
I don't know if he's ever gone. He hasn't said, but he loves the pictures that I send from the games, and he likes the guys with the funny last names.
Yeah, they have had some NHL players over there.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one Australian, though he didn't play in Australia, who is in the Hockey Hall of Fame, a guy by the name of Tommy Dunderdale.
Speaking of funny last names.
Yeah, he retired in the 20s, but it's really interesting. Maybe someday we'll see some players in the NHL from Australia.
That'd be cool.
That would certainly be interesting. Okay, well, anyway, let me wrap up by going through the names of the teams, just sort of word association.
Sure.
And you just say whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with Bloomington.
Well, Bloomington is an interesting team. They have a lot of talent. It just seems like they can never get over the hump. And maybe this year they'll finally make the playoffs.
All right, and Dayton?
I hope the situation in Dayton gets straightened out.
Right.
I like the sound of these new owners. I think they care about the team. I think they care about the area. I know Dayton's a fast team. I just hope they can stick it out.
Mm-hmm. All right, Flint?
Flint's another possible train wreck in progress. They've got some talent. They've got some big names. It just seems like some of those guys don't really give a darn. I guess if you're worried about not getting paid, maybe you wouldn't either. But I hope they can keep it together too.
Right. All right, Muskegon?
Muskegon is the team that I hate the most in the league now.
Can't blame you for that.
Yeah, they got these Neanderthals playing for them, and they got the two biggest whiners in the league on the same team, and I just can't stand them.
All right, Port Huron?
Well, it's kind of hard to call on Port Huron, only seen them once. They look like they're going to be good. I don't know why Larry won't play in Fort Wayne. I don't know if he's afraid or what. I mean, we give him just as much crap on the bench as we do on the ice.
I don't know if it's him or the coach or what. But
I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, it's as if though they're afraid to let him get in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, and Quad City on the ice tonight?
They look a little better than they did the last time we saw them. I mean, I think we're still controlling the game, and I'm just glad they're not wearing those green jerseys tonight.
I know. That was one thing I was like, all right, we don't have to look at those.
A glare where I sit.
Yeah, those are hard to read.
Those are bad.
All right, and they're not in the league anymore. I know, so who cares? But Kalamazoo.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about Kalamazoo. I'm just kind of glad Picard's not in the league anymore. With all what we know about him now. And,
right.
He took his puck and went home. And, hey, they're gone. Good riddance.
All right. And our Fort Wayne Komets.
I think they're going to be good again this year. I don't think they have anywhere to go but up.
Right.
With all the guys they have out right now. I mean, once we get Boucher back and Shafronov back and McMillan back, and if Sierzynski ever comes back from his month-long weekend call-up, I think we'll be just fine.
All right. Well, thank you for your time tonight, Rachel. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I've been looking forward to it.
Well, we're look forward to seeing you as well.
All right.
All right. And that's a view from the stands. Back to you, Tim and Randy.